Hello, I am Yogini Sunita, and this is Meditation, Yoga, and Stuff podcast. I believe my dharma or my life's purpose is to share my understanding of meditation, yoga, and Ayurveda, holistic healing science of India. I make these amazing wisdoms accessible and adaptable for present times. So let's start.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. Today is 100th episode of Meditation, Yoga and Stuff with Sunita. Thank you for being here on this journey. I really enjoyed doing these episodes every week. I have literally looked forward to record these episodes. This would have not been possible without all of your support, my listeners. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. And I hope that this podcast is giving you what you need. My intention, as you know, is to share wisdom of yoga, Ayurveda, meditation, Sanskrit. So I'm trying to do that through this podcast. If you want, you can actually email me if you want to listen to any particular subject. I'm happy to take that on board and happy to share this wisdom because I'm here for you. I'm here to share these wisdoms with you. So let me know. I'm doing it as much as I can. Nobody can be expert of these wisdoms. It is such a vast knowledge. So I'm just sharing what I know and I'm sharing from my heart. I hope that you feel this heart connection with this when you're listening to this podcast. And enjoy the episode. Let me know what you think. I really appreciate. And make sure you like the episodes as well, because then this helps me to keep going. This will help me to understand that, yes, you're really enjoying. Every time when I am posting these podcasts, I can see that the audience is growing. Some regulars are listening. I can't see you personally, but I hope that we are connecting from that heart center, the Anahat chakra, with each other. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Today's topic is microbiome and Ayurveda, or Ayurveda and gut health. So we're going to tune into this modern understanding of microbiomes. So microbiomes is organisms which live in our gut. And these organisms such as bacteria, fungi, viruses, they live in our gut and they are basically keeping us healthy. Some of them are keeping us healthy. Some of them are good bacteria and microbiomes. And others, maybe we can call them bad bacteria or bad microbiomes. So when we eat our food, the digestion process starts from our mouth all the way to our gut and also out through our large colon. And throughout this process, microbiome is helping our system to digest the food. Microbiome is not just in our gut, but also outside. Some of it is on our skin as well. Most of them are helping our gut to digest the food. And there are some, the evil ones also will create havoc in our gut or in our digestive system. In Wisdom of Ayurveda, you will see that the gut health is considered the most important part of our well-being. So if our gut is healthy, if we are going regularly every morning, if the digestion is happening regularly, that means that everything is functioning better. So first thing Ayurveda practitioner will ask you or should ask you is, how is your digestion? And they may ask you how regular it is, what is the consistency, is it liquid, is it dry, all those things, So there is a lot of information actually can be gained from this understanding of how is your gut health. Because according to Ayurveda, when we do not digest our food well, when the digestion is not comfortable, or when, say for example, there is undigested food, it creates something called ama, which is literally toxic morbid waste of our digestive system, our digestion, and this product is very harmful. Also, the consumption of the food in our gut can actually, if it is too much, it is too heavy, a lot of energy is needed to digest that. Also, it may just sit in our gut for many days, like sometimes it says 3 days or so, or sometimes more, and it just rots there. So all this impacts our digestive system. And so how can we promote microbiome, like a good microbiome in our system? So Ayurveda, as I said, like it's a lot of attention is towards our digestive system, our how it is functioning. And the reason for that is because it is believed in Ayurveda that most of our diseases manifest in our gut. So that toxic morbid waste, which is called ama in Ayurveda, it is believed that that causes the inflammation, that causes a lot of irritability in our system, in our whole system basically collapse because of when we don't digest the food well. So when our digestive system is functioning beautifully, then we are feeling well, healthy, we are feeling energized. And in Ayurveda, we also look at the dosha or Ayurvedic constitution, because every dosha or Ayurvedic constitution have a different way of digesting the food. So the same food may not be right for every dosha, right? So this is what we need to understand, that we all are unique fingerprint of divine, and our digestive system is also going to be unique. Let's take a look at understanding of Ayurveda's understanding is there has to be like a variety of diet. The suggestions of Ayurveda is, using food which are easy to digest, which are comfortable, which are non-gassy foods, which are non-acidic foods. All these understanding from Ayurveda. Also, there are some foods which are called cross foods. What does that mean is the combination of those foods actually create more disturbance in our digestion. Ayurveda, there are a few things really big no eating together, and these no-nos are like eating milk and fish together and things like that. So there are a lot of that understanding, like why it is, because it affects our microbiome. The language Ayurveda uses is different. They may not use the word microbiome, but the understanding that the digestion needs to happen very regularly, and also it needs to be smooth and steady basically. What I mean by smooth and steady is that we should every morning going to the toilet should be our wake up call. I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable saying this in the podcast, but the reality is we all need to go, and we should go first thing. That should be our wake up call in the morning. So it should be regular. Evacuation bowl is extremely important in Ayurveda, and also there is this understanding that food has prana, or food has that energy or life force. So that kind of food is going to really nourish us. But if the food doesn't have prana, say for example, if we look at chips and things like that, so there is no prana in that, or no, it doesn't feel it has prana because it's mass produced. So the impact of that food in our system, obviously it's not going to be helpful for our gut bacteria. So we need to be mindful that, at least 80-20 rule, maybe, so you can try to be healthy most of the time, so that any outside like a bacteria and viruses, when they attack our system, we should be strong enough to fight them back. And so how that we can do that is by keeping our gut healthy, So we have strong immune system, a lot of energy in our system as well to fight this bacteria or the viruses floating or bacteria may enter into our system through food. So in this situation, like the Ayurveda's understanding is what should we eat at what time also impacts our gut biome. So Ayurveda will suggest that don't eat yogurt at night because it creates extreme, like it creates kapha. Then there are also quite interesting suggestions, but let's bring awareness into our practical life. And also it is very difficult to give suggestion in a podcast because these suggestions are very unique to the individual. So what happens that when I have a client in front of me and when I see them, what's happening in their system, then I can suggest these things for their digestive system, for their unique digestive system. But in the podcast, I cannot say the blanket statement that, we all should not do this or should do this. So that's why I'm a little bit careful using like a blanket statement that, everyone should stop eating this. But we're going to try and understand like how can we eat healthy and nourish our microbiome, our gut bacteria. How can we help our gut to digest everything. So there are a few things affects our gut health. And one of the things that is stress in our life. If you see that if there is a stress in our life, sometimes we feel it in our gut. We even use these words, my God, I felt like it's like a big knot in my stomach or something like that. So these things basically that means that the stress and our gut brain, as they call it now, gut brain and our actual brain giving signal back and forth because our system is very much connected in a way that there is always that communication is happening. So this is where we need to understand that the stress is going to impact our wellness. There was a research done in America that what is stress doing to people and how much stress is there. And they realized that 80% of the diseases come from stress. So if you have stress in your life, it is going to impact your digestion. So we need to see how can we reduce the stress. Is there a possibility of doing that? Like what can you do? Like can you bring in stress reduction practices like practicing gentle asana, then also relaxation techniques, understanding that we are most of the time, if there is stress, we are most of the time in the state of fight or flight. So how can we bring in the state of rest and digest? And this state will help you to literally digest your food and also help you relax your whole system. So bringing in mindful practices, mindfully eating is going to really impact your gut biome. Then we are also going to tune into the foods we eat. So variety of food. Now there are so many beautiful suggestions of recipes you can bring in according to your where you live. So Ayurveda is all about eating local food. Local food because it won't need any preservative, then it is local. And also it will be according to the seasons because when we start eating according to the seasons and local food, then we are reducing the preservatives from our food. We are eating fresh food. So we are also eating the food which is still in that area. So that Earth's gut, the biomes are going to enter into our system. And so local is the way to go. If you have farmers market, I suggest go visit farmer market and buy directly from farmers because it is also a way to connect with the helping our economy as well. So Ayurveda is science of relationship. So it's very important that understanding that our relationship with our food is also going to impact our what's happening with our food. So if you have relationship with your food where there is maybe not interested in the food, or maybe you like to watch TV and ignore the food, things like that, then we are going to tune into that as well and see if you can develop a positive relationship with your food. So how can we do that? As I mentioned earlier, mindful eating. So what does that mean is you place your food in front of you and consciously look at the food, look at the color, the texture, and try and understand where this food has come from, where it was tilled, and how it was produced. Like starting with that, when then you look at the beautiful color of the food, you can start noticing that if it is cooked food, then how much positive energy went into this food when you're cooking the food. And then you very slowly see if you're okay to touch the food. In India, or where Ayurveda is from, you feel the food with your fingers. So you touch the food and make sure your hands are clean, obviously. And then eating the food so that you are feeling that texture. Then you're putting it in your mouth. And Ayurveda suggests chewing for 32 times. Now, very gently you can start chewing your food. Why 32 times? Because we have 32 teeth. But if you want, basically slow down and eat, because our digestion according to Ayurveda, our digestion starts when we start even thinking of food. And then when we look at food, when we smell food, you notice maybe you start salivating. If you just the thought of amazing food, bring in your mind an image of your favorite food, and you will start noticing that you're salivating. So that's how our system reacts. And that salivation is basically our body is getting ready to prepare for digestion. So when you put the food in your mouth, and when you start chewing very slowly, that the saliva gets added into the food, and then when we swallow it, that bolus thing goes in our stomach, where there is acid, where the food is digested. And then slowly it travels into our small intestine, and small intestine absorbs all the juices from the food, and whatever remains go into the large intestine, where the even more absorption of juices happens. This is where we need to understand that water also plays a big part in our food. So you will notice that a lot of Indian food have curries, or a lot of even Asian food, I should say, have curries in it. And the reason for that is it helps to digest the food. So that's why having like a liquid in your food is helpful. From Western point of view, the soups does the wonderful job as well. And this is the digestion process I explain is very layperson's point of view or understanding. I'm not a scientist, so maybe doctor or scientist can explain it better, but this is my layperson's understanding of digestion. And variety of food. So Ayurveda encourages to eat variety of food. The reason for that is again, it is really helpful for our overall health. So have as many colorful vegetables, grains. You can also have like the darkest the food, that's much better than the nuts and the seeds and all these things, grains, legumes. All this is going to help our gut bacteria. You will also notice that in Ayurvedic recipes, the food is cooked quite well, because Ayurveda believes that our digestive system is very delicate and it needs cooked food. So Ayurveda insists or suggests that have cooked food. And then also eating probiotics. So what is probiotic in Ayurveda is yogurt. So in the morning, Ayurveda, you will see that around lunchtime, it's suggested to have yogurt with your meal. Depending on your constitution, there are different ways to dilute the yogurt even further, and you can have that. But yogurt can be really wonderful probiotic. But you can also get the probiotics, kefir, you can get it from kimchi and things like that. So a lot of cultures have their own understanding of probiotic rich foods. You have understanding, bring that in your life, consciously bring that in your life. There are also example of probiotic foods, which are like bananas and asparagus and onions and garlics, which helps that good bacteria in our gut. And notice that Ayurveda doesn't use the artificial or I'm saying artificial sugar, but I should say the white sugar or sugar as such, because sugar is really harmful for our gut bacteria. So you can use the natural sweetener things, but also in Ayurveda it is suggested. So use raw honey. So the honey should not be cooked in Ayurveda or should not be heated, because then it loses its goodness, its microbiome or goodness in that. So that's why honey, you use it as it is without heating it. Then also there are a few things which needs more cooking than others, like chickpea needs more cooking, and then on top of that we'll have a squeeze lemon or lime with it, so that will help to digest. So simple things, but which will help our gut biome. And also physical movements. So physical movements like yoga asana or physical practices, where you actually folding forward, bending back and forward and going into twists and things like that. Actually we are massaging our abdominals in a lot of ways. And then practices like walking, hiking will also help, because whenever you're going to use your whole body, your movements, it creates a positive impact in our system. It helps us to manage stress as well. So if you can bring in movements of any gentle movement and meditation, gentle breathing practices, conscious breathing practices, then that will help you to manage your stress as well as help your gut biome. The more you will improve your mobility in positive way, then that will promote your gut microbiome as well. So it's amazing, like where you go for walks, because in Ayurveda everything is experience. So when we digest this experience, that is also considered as a digestion. So if, for example, if you are eating amazing food but you are not digesting what's happening in your life, then it will impact your digestion. So as I said, like it is everything is experience and everything is related to our digestion. So when we are looking at something, we are processing it, we are digesting it in a different way, not necessarily through our gut, maybe through our brain, but it's still digestion, and it is going to impact your digestive system. That is what Ayurveda's understanding is. Getting enough sleep. I mean, we all know that if we don't sleep, the sleep what we need for our constitution, it is going to impact our health in so many ways. So if you can get your sleep for your system, then it will reduce the inflammation in your whole system, right? So what happens that when we don't sleep, our system reacts, our system kind of like starts behaving like it is inflamed, and this inflammation can cause so many issues in our system. So what if you start reduce your stress, exercise, and you will start notice that you can sleep better. Sleeping better is going to promote your positive digestive health. And then stay hydrated. Ayurveda is big on drinking warm water, especially person with vata or air and space constitution. The warm water, it's very difficult for our system to digest cold water. So that's why we drink warm water. And so the warm water works really wonderfully. So it helps to absorb in our system. Then also there are people who are pitta or the heating constitution. They may not need warm water, they may need the room temperature water, but there is a big no-no in Ayurveda for cold water, because according to Ayurveda, cold water impacts our digestion, it slows down our digestion, and it's not good for our gut health. And Kapha, the third constitution, which is basically earth and water constitution. So it is slow digestion constitution. These people have less metabolism, so they need to drink warm water. And so this is what the beauty of Ayurveda's understanding is, like how this water we cannot digest when it is cold, but we can digest when it is warm. So there is a lot of experimentation was done by wise beings many years ago, and they realized that these things, and they true even now. So that's the beauty of Ayurveda also is a very individual. So as I said, like there is no blanket rule, because we may have combination of, say, vata pitta or air and space element plus fire and water element together. And because we are multi-dimensional beings, we may have more than one constitution. And so how to still find balance? So this is what you can actually work with a Ayurvedic practitioner who can help you to find that balance. If you want, you can contact me and see if you want to book an appointment about that. I will help you to understand your constitution. And also in Ayurveda, we also consider everything, like the whole picture. We consider age of our patient, we consider what's happening in their life, we consider what is their profession. So there's a lot of impact, like what is happening with relationship. Everything is impacts our health, our wellness. And so all this is taken in consideration, and from there the diagnosis is made, and then from there the suggestions are there. And these are I truly believe that we can make Ayurveda very simple and easy to adapt into our life, and that's my approach. I make it very simple. I make it very easy for my clients to embody these practices so that they become second nature. And so this is how Ayurveda can help you. This is how Ayurveda and gut brain, basically gut health, is. I have also created the wellness tribe, in which I'm sharing all my understanding about yoga, Ayurveda. We meet twice via Zoom, so you can join it from anywhere from the world. So feel free to join, inquire about it, if this is right for you. So you can actually book an Zoom call and see if this is for you. I would love to help as many people as possible. I truly believe my dharma is to share this wisdom of yoga and Ayurveda with the world. And I have been doing this for many years. Feel free to contact me and see if I can help you. Thank you for being here. Take care. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that you're taking this time out of your day. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care. Bye for now.